Staying in the top 5, I beat a lot of big guys. And I feel really accomplished when Yeah, check it out, man. This is your boy Akon, and right now you're tuned in to the Millionaire Student Show with my man, Sashin Govender.
Yo, it's Rich the Kid on the Millionaire Student Show.
Hi, I'm Ariana Celeste, and you're tuning in to the Millionaire Student Show.
What's up, y'all? Tune into the Millionaire Student Show with Andy Milanakis.
Yo, this your boy Soulja Boy. You tuned into the Millionaire Student Show with Sasha. Keep it locked right here.
We're on the Millionaire Student Show, and today's guest we have Dr. Laurence Rifkin. But before I introduce Dr. Laurence, you know, the ultimate aim, the goal and the vision for the Millionaire Student Show is to bring edutainment, education and entertainment to you. This is exactly what I wanted about 7.5 years ago when I got involved in the entrepreneurial world, but sadly I had to go through multiple videos to find the right one. The show embodies 4 pillars: health, wealth, spirituality, and relationships. And today we're going to be sharing and going deeper into health, not just physically, but also mentally. So Dr. Laurence Rifkin, cosmetic celebrity dentist, and we're actually in Beverly Hills right now at one of his practices. You know, he creates synergy between science, technology, and fine arts. He's among the few dentists who being recognized as an authentic leader even beyond the field of dentistry. Combining cosmetic surgery principles with dentistry is a very rare passion. Doing exceedingly well for the better part of 40 years is definitely a legacy. And on top of that, former official dentist for the LA Lakers. Thank you so much for being on the Millionaire Student Show. I appreciate it. But for those who don't know you, way before dentistry, what was your life like?
My life like before dentistry? Well, that's a wonderful question, because I am a mixture of concerns and passions. I started off loving art and music. And so one of my early passions was sculpting, was painting, and also I was a drummer in a band. So I had difficulty in deciding what I like to do, but I like to do everything. So I think the one thing I got from my parents, especially my mother, was a zest for life and always to do your best and enjoy it, whatever you do. Didn't matter what you did, but enjoy it.
Definitely. So how did you innovate and disrupt, you know, this world, the dentistry, the medical world?
Well, you know, the wonderful thing is I had good mentors. My uncle was a dentist in the Navy. Following World War II, he brought out some of our family to come work with him, and I got an exposure to dentistry. And although I thought, well, that's fine, but I still want to be an artist, I still want to be a musician, I actually worked for him in the laboratory. And during those early formative years, I actually enjoyed the process of dentistry in the fabrication, the creativity, and the art side of dentistry. Plus, it was also a noble profession, one of the medical specialties in helping people, make them smile, make them feel better, and the health aspect. So all those things somewhat coalesced together and gave me the passion to say, you know what, I think dentistry has a lot of opportunity for me to put together my passions and whatever talents I had and make a career out of it. And I actually, I know I made the right decision.
Definitely. I mean, the more I sit across people, and I can definitely relate regarding mentors, because you know, it's just a common denominator to become, you know, successful in your own rights. People find someone who has what they want, articulate them, they emulate them, they kind of walk in their footsteps. And then you get people who are resistant towards having a mentor because they feel they want to do it on their own. You had a mentor from a very young age. How did it keep you humble after you started to have success? But then also now you're a mentor to people, but at the same time, you know, you're always learning. So how does it, you know, your success level is right here. Why should you go beyond that and go out and learn, continuously learn?
Well, I think that's what life is. Life is a journey. I always say the journey is just as important as the destination. And the continuum of learning is always what makes life exciting. The continuum to travel, to see new places, to meet new people, new relationships, all of those things keep life fresh, keep them exciting. And to just stay at this point and say, well, I'm good enough, it's never good enough. I had a doctor mentor of mine say that the best is not good enough. So that doesn't mean you put down and you are sad about what you've accomplished and say, well, that's it, there's all there is. There's always more to learn. You always celebrate what you've accomplished, and there's always more to look forward to. And that passion for life, being happy, and where you're at, cherish what you have, but still continue to learn, that is through all aspects of your life. Your career, your relationships, your profession, all of that keeps life fresh. And that's why I continue to learn and I continue to teach, because being a teacher requires that I must continue to be a student.
Yes.
I must continue to learn. I can't rely upon my laurels thus far, because new things happen all the time. Science is forever changing. The whole world is changing.
And by you staying in student mode shows that you're humble enough to learn to take it to the next level.
Absolutely. I celebrate other people's successes. I try not to be jealous or envious. I might use that as a motivational tool to say, that's great. I want to do that, and I want to do it better, and I want to top that. My brother is also a dentist, and he and I have always had this sibling rivalry in a good way. So that if you were my brother and you did something better, I say, wow, that's really great, but I'm going to top him. And I did it with a sense of humor.
Yes.
And then when I did something better, he would look at me and say, all right, I'm going to get better than that. So it's kind of a sense of humor. So you use each other's accomplishments to be a benchmark for the next level, to raise the bar a little bit higher. And you celebrate each other's, rather than, you know, I do not think I am the best dentist in the world. I want to be, and I continue to learn and try to be one of the best. I learn from my colleagues, I learn from my mentors, and I honor and respect those that have come before me, and not say, oh, I want to learn it all on my own. Why reinvent the wheel? Take that wheel a little bit further.
Without a doubt. I mean, celebrating rather than tolerating. And it takes it a long way, because if every single human being looked at that and said, I'm inspired by someone else's work, rather than let's hate on them, bring them down so we can lift ourselves up, that's not sustainable.
Absolutely, absolutely. Why live a world of envy and jealousy? Just say, that's great, thank you so much. Be very grateful. Thank you for teaching me that. Let me see what I can do to move that ball forward. You know, I think Einstein said, the reason I am great, because people were lauding Albert Einstein, he says, the reason I am great is because I'm standing on the shoulders of giants.
Yeah.
I always remember that quote, because I think that is so important, to give respect to those that came before us and to move that ball a little bit forward.
At any given point in your career, have you changed it from a purpose goal, a passion goal, to a financial goal?
I think that we all want to be comfortable. We all want to have nice things. But I think living in a world of continuous want is really a recipe for unhappiness. I think being satisfied with what you have, always trying to do more, emulate those that have success, try to take that. The finances is not the only goal.
Yeah.
Financial comfort and success is extremely important, because without it, you cannot help yourself, you cannot help others. I believe in giving to others, but if I don't have enough to give to myself, how can I share it with others? So I think we all need to be successful and share that, divide that up. Because if I'm able to give to those that are needy, it tells me internally, psychologically, that I have more than I need. And if I have more than I need, I'm very happy. Why should I'm not living in a world of want. I give to charities to soldiers that have been injured during the war. I give to charities that, my personal services to those that have been victims of domestic violence and sex trafficking, and any of those that are homeless and mentally ill. What I have done and what I can do, what I try to do as much as possible, and share that with others, is to give to others, because it's self-gratifying.
Yeah.
It helps others, and there's nothing better than seeing someone else smile. Okay? Even smiling, walking down the street. I smile, I feel safe, I feel happy, I feel more comfortable. So there's many ways to make others smile, and that in turn is a self-fulfilling prophecy of your own reward to be happy.
Great. How did you use your success to guide others towards seeing the same success?
Probably just by example. I didn't really try. I tried to motivate and educate my friends or colleagues or younger colleagues of mine to grow, to be better, just as my journey, and I give gratitude to others. So by example, continuing to learn, being humble, not trying to be a know-it-all, but knowing what I do know and trying to share that, that is motivating to those that want to learn and those that want to get better. Not everybody wants to grow, unfortunately, but why not live with that passion of continuous growth, as we talked about before? So those that want to achieve excellence in whatever they do, it's always helpful to have a mentor that you can appreciate, respect, and give credit to, because someone will give that back to you eventually.
Exactly.
So I think that's hugely
I mean, I'm sure
important.
a lot of people look, you know, as a mirror image. Hey, I want to emulate you. I want to be just like you. You know, you've been doing this for 40 years. You know, 4 decades is absolutely no joke. You've got to continuously resell yourself on a daily basis that you're in love with what you do, because you don't really, I mean, sometimes I know the feeling, the point of, hey, I wake up in the morning and be like, I can sleep in. But you know, you got to work like you're broke. You got to create that environment.
Right.
Sometimes I know the feeling, the point of, hey, I wake up in the morning and be like, I can sleep in. But you know, you got to work like you're broke. You got to create that environment where, you know, you're not chasing the money, because when you start to chase the money, you sink. And when you start to chase the end goal and the vision and the purpose, you start to swim. You know, what were your inspirations in starting a career in dentistry? And when did you know you wanted this to be your career and wanted to fulfill this career?
When I experienced the aspects of dentistry that allowed me, enabled me, supported me to be creative. I'm sort of a creative person. It's hard for me to go to sleep at night, because when I come home from here and I've had a wonderful, satisfying day of doing what I do with my hands and my craft and all the relationships that I'm able to experience with my staff and my patients, then I go home and I've got these other ideas for inventions, and I got these other ideas because I sculpt also. So I have my artwork that also enables me to be creative, and it's hard to shut down, you know, the mind. I want to, you know, I want to sleep. I know it's important, but got to calm the mind down. But it's also important to meditate, because in those quiet moments, you really kind of see the clarity. You get rid of all the noise from the busyness of the day, and so that's part of my life as well. But creativity is just part of my genetic, you know, makeup, I guess. You know, and it just allows me to get into other things, even besides dentistry.
I mean, the subconscious mind tells most students that if you're not an A student, if you're not a B student, you can't become a doctor, lawyer, an accountant, a dentist. You know, and then with the new generation, the millennials, you know, if someone had to, you know, not get that degree, but walk in here and shadow you 7 days a week, you know, literally 365 days a year, if you worked throughout the entire year, can they still become successful in your field?
Yes, I think the passion for what you want to learn and the discipline, because it's not just because I want it. You have to put in the time, you have to put in the effort, you have to put in the discipline. It's not just about talent, it's not just about luck. There's a lot of people with incredible talent that never exercise that talent that they have, and they don't go further with it, unfortunately. But I think a lot of talent is learned. I think somebody once said it's 90% perspiration and 10% inspiration. You know, you have to work at it. The most successful actors, athletes, gentlemen such as yourself, in whatever field that you're in, you put in the time. And it's not work if you love it. So pick something that you love to do.
So I mean, they don't have to get this degree. I mean, that's just, you can get the degree, but at the end of the day, if you outwork the person with the degree, you can still become successful.
Exactly. A degree is just a mathematical measurement of what you have accomplished in a formal environment. Bill Gates quit college, okay? All the people that are great in history, that before there were colleges, they were Rembrandt, Da Vinci, created these things out of their own mind without formal education because they were passionate about it. So you don't need it. But yes, it's important to have that education because it gives you a foundation, gives you a language, gives you a base to build upon, accelerates your learning. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, as I said. So being passionate about what you want is everything.
The ultimate here. What is your philosophy on how oral health relates to overall body health?
That's a wonderful question, because in the 40 years that I have been practicing, I've learned layers and layers of aspects of dentistry before there was even an emphasis on cosmetics and aesthetics. So that was a foundation of health and mechanics and predictability and material studies and material science. And the basic biology was there, but it wasn't to nearly the degree that it is right now. We are learning that oral health is the basis and foundation for some of the systemic diseases that we have. So The mouth is a portal of entry for bacteria and viruses. Okay, and so we want to maintain the foundation of health not only to prevent decay and prevent gingivitis and gum disease and gum recession and loss of teeth, but those bacteria that penetrate through the gum tissue circulate throughout our entire bodies. And we're understanding that infection causes inflammation. Inflammation causes negative aspects of your health, deteriorating, taxing your immune system and debilitating yourself. So all of these other stresses in life, not sleeping, smoking, poor nutrition, lack of exercise, all of these things are additive into tearing down your immune system so you cannot fight and you cannot repair this body. If you give it the tools and you give it the rest and you give it the ability and you keep bacteria and these foreign objects and elements out of your body will be healthier, it will last longer, it will have more energy, you'll have more passion, you'll be more healthful, and not only the physical health will occur, but the mental health, because who can be mentally healthy and happy if you're like, no energy? I just can't get up this morning. But if you have energy, then you can go pursue that, it's in your dreams, okay? And you know, the cosmetic aspect of it is also part of it. People say, well, it's vanity. Well, it is and it isn't, because I work with people that have been disfigured from accidents. And no one wants to look in the mirror and see a face that is not even normal. And if you're normal, unfortunately, there's maybe a hyper attention to aesthetics where we can't be happy with natural aesthetics. I try to achieve natural aesthetics because I look at the human form and the sculpting and the artistic standpoint of it, and I appreciate the variation of the human form. Not everybody has to look like some of the icons and the beautiful actors and actresses and models and everything that's on Instagram. People are trying to look like other people. Celebrate who you are. Be the best you can be. Be healthy. Look your best. And some of the things that I get to enjoy doing and making people smile and feeling better about themselves is giving them the ability to smile. If you have a blemish on your face, you kind of cover it up and maybe it'll go away. If you have a blemish in your smile, sometimes it's a good blemish, okay? And sometimes it's not a good blemish. And so with sometimes simple dentistry or some simple types of procedures, we can improve that smile to take that small element and make it beautiful. And if you're covering up your smile, like, ha ha ha, how are you? You know, you don't see people smile, they cover up their teeth. They're not receiving the endorphins from really smiling. I know this from acting classes where, you know, motion creates emotion. I learned that in exercise, and the lack of a smile makes you sad. Or smiling. It's hard to be sad if you're smiling, okay? In acting, I say, okay, do this part. Be a really sad person and smile. It's hard to cry. It's hard to be sad. It's hard to be down. So they tell you method acting is shallow breathing, drop your posture, don't smile, look down. All of a sudden I can get sad just by doing that, and that's how I can cry if I need to project that as a part. But the reverse is true too. If you're smiling, you're happy. Somebody comes across you along the street and they smile at you. Hi, I'm Larry. And you know, what are you going to do? You're going to probably smile back with monkey see, monkey do. And if I'm making you smile, you're making me smile, and we're all happier. So I think part of dentistry is obviously the foundation of physical, biochemical, biological health. The other part of it is mental health. So I think part of dentistry is obviously the foundation of physical, biochemical, biological health. The other part of it is mental health. Feeling good about yourself, self-esteem. You don't have to look like a model, perfect model, because honestly, most perfect models are not perfect. We're all human beings. It's touched up, Photoshop, Instagram, whatever it might be. There's ways to improve ourselves. I'm guilty of it. I'm vain a little bit. I like to work out. I like to look good, but mostly it's the core of health and feeling good about myself, self-esteem and the biological health.
Just listening to you and the type of analogies as well as phrases you're talking about makes me, you know, firstly, brings awareness to the fact that you're definitely into personal development. Whether it's motivational speaking, whether it's books, whether it's audios that you've been listening to. What's your favorite book? Oh, or you're probably more of an audio guy or video guy, or is it, or are you into books?
I'm into meditation. I'm into yoga to some degree because I think that's the spirituality of me. I'm into a lot of books from The Art of War, which sounds ridiculous, Sun Tzu. It's more of like a philosophy of how to avoid conflict. Okay, there's many great teachers. There's so many. Oh my God, Aristotle, Shakespeare. I mean, I don't want to just sound like I'm so well read, because I do like to watch movies, and I do like to live life, not just observe life. But I do learn from the past, and I wish I had read more in the art of just pure writing, the creative part of the writing, because I appreciate poetry. It's really beautiful if you listen to it. Some of music is poetry. Yeah. So I think everybody should gravitate to all the arts and appreciate all of that has been created. Sometimes I discover something like, why didn't I read that book 30 years ago or 50 years ago? I was in school. That's amazing.
Great. I mean, you've grown a successful career, you know, not just in dentistry, but obviously your network, your personal wealth. Most people don't see the challenges. They don't see the adversity. They just see the top floor looking over Beverly Hills. And this was not just a talent, but also behind that, a lot of, you know, stepping stones to where you are right now. Right. What are some of the challenges? What type of mindset or frame did you have to get in to actually surpass that, to go beyond that, to get to the pinnacle?
Well, I had to start off humbly working as an employee of my uncle, who was wonderful, but he didn't treat me any differently than any other employee. I worked from the ground up. When I was a child, I had jobs. I would come and polish the floors and clean the floors with my mom and my brother. So it was just a weekend job of maintenance. And I was probably 10 years old or 12 years old. So I enjoyed the process of working. I don't consider that a stumbling block per se. I think that was actually very formative and giving me energy to be humble. Then I worked as an employee. I worked in multiple jobs. In the dental offices. It wasn't just his office. And I worked with my brother. And eventually one of the stumbling blocks says, I got to be me. My brother's great, my uncle's great, but I'm not them. I'm me. I had to do it my way. And I had to go out and say, I believe in myself. I don't need support from other people, even though I do appreciate it and I welcome it and I wouldn't turn it down, but I don't want to be someone else. I want to be me. So I built my practice and I believed in myself and I took every class that I could and I worked hard, and I wasn't always successful, but I tried and I picked myself back up and kept more things, some financial losses, some poor investments. I just keep working, just keep rolling. What else am I going to do? I can't go backwards. And so I was very fortunate. One of the things that I think is so important is I would follow mentors. I would emulate success. I would model success and just do it my way. And so I think what you're doing is so amazing, so important for people to be motivated by others that have failed and succeeded before them and learn from them. Don't throw that away. That is so important. It's the creme de la creme. Learn their mistakes, try to avoid those, do it your way. You're going to make mistakes and never be bothered by it. Mistakes are only another pathway to your future success.
I mean, the odds are definitely stacked against us. You're going to fail way more times than you're going to succeed. But I mean, once again, some of the most famous sportsmen, most well-known individuals, they don't get paid to take one shot and score. They get paid to take 10, 15 shots and score 1 or 2.
Absolutely.
And but most people, once again, on the highlights, it's just showing the goals. It's not, you know, the tries, the adversity. It's not the entire game. There's just a short summary. You know, I see you into sculpting, and has that become a hobby or a business for you?
Well, it's somewhat both. It's more the hobby than the business, but I have sold many pieces. It's just balancing my time, and that's probably one of my biggest obstacles, is balancing what it is I love to do, because I love to do so many things. I love to travel. I love to work out. I love my patients, absolutely. I lecture. I was the president of an academy. I have 3 or 4 lectures per year that are like my crown achievements. Every year I want this one to be better than the last one, and the next one after that to be better than this one. And so sculpting is, to answer your question, it is a huge passion of mine. I don't rely upon it for my income because it's just not enough. I'd probably, you know, most artists become wealthy after they're dead, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So you do it not for the money, okay, but I do it for the joy of it. It keeps my visual skills very sharp. I look at things compositionally, so when I look at someone's face and the smile, every smile is unique. Every face, every patient's unique. Their personalities are unique. How I blend that together, I know some of it is an art, some of it, much of it can be taught if you just listen.
Yeah. You know, everyone has a secret weapon for keeping a positive mindset. With the ups and downs in life right now and the testing phases, the adversity, what's yours?
The mindset?
I mean, 80% of life is definitely psychological.
Listen, I've had some challenges this weekend, from a bicycle fall and a little auto accident, but what am I going to do? I'm going to be sad about it? I'm happy I'm still alive. I'm happy I'm here with you. The mindset is, it is a choice for me to say, my filter says, do I want to focus on the bad stuff that's going to happen to my life and everyone else's, or do I want to focus on the good stuff? I'm focusing on the good stuff. What I water will grow.
Without a doubt.
Okay, and so that's my mindset. My mindset is to try to filter out the bad stuff, what I want to focus on. Yeah, I could sit and dwell and complain and, oh, poor me, and it's going to happen. Bad things happen to me. You know, it's not all, you know, cookies and cream. But I like to focus on the good stuff. That's my mindset. And if there's something that I'm doing that I think is not helping me, I'll really try to investigate that and find a solution for it. If I'm the problem, I'll fix me. Okay, I got to figure out how to do that.
Yeah, Dr. Rifkin, thank you so much for being on the
welcome.
Millionaire Student Show, adding value and wisdom. You know, guys, real quickly, comment below on what you learned, at least 3 things that you've you know, absorbed that you can apply right now. Dr. Laurence Rifkin, all the way from Los Angeles, Beverly Hills. Thank you so much.
Sashin, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. You're amazing.
We're on the Millionaire Student Show, and today we're going through a different avenue. Normally it's health, wealth, spirituality, and relationships. Now it's all about, you know, something that's going to actually blow your mind away. I'm not going to steal any thunder away from Kate, but today we have, you know, Kate Boyer in, you know, on the Millionaire Student Show. She's a seasoned stunt performer and leading actress. Kate, I know you feature in multiple movies.